Hello, this is Greg Bianchi, and this is a speech about NASA, one of my favorite subjects. Space has always fascinated mankind. It's been characterized by television as man's final frontier for exploration. From the time of the first astronomers and mathematicians like Archimedes to today's masterful technological innovations such as the Hubble telescope, humanity has embarked on the opportunity to experience so much more than ever imagined on the surface of the Earth. One group takes credit for most, if not all, of this modern-day progress. This well-known group is the National Aeronautics and Space Administration, or NASA. In our most recent history, this group has run the greatest and most important technologically advanced programs that have defied the limitations of our imagination. Their diligent efforts are the reason why the American flag is proudly waving on our sole orbiter, the moon. Everything NASA has done has made our country what it is today, a creative and imaginative nation. Unfortunately, as of late, NASA has not been given the opportunity to declare unprecedented feats of glory. And I will tell you why through government, history, and future. In recent years, our government has reduced its funding for space exploration. NASA has been reduced to flounder for capital dollars in order to maintain its quest toward the unknown. It is increasingly constrained by the fundraising efforts, and NASA's current endeavors are being funded by projects initiated by other countries. Thousands of devoted pilots, scientists, and engineers who forever want to understand the boundaries of the universe and explore for extraterrestrial life won't have the opportunity in their lifetimes to do so. This is because in 2011, citing the exorbitant cost of operations, our president discontinued the space program and practically shut down NASA from performing future launches. So often today, the financial worth of ingenuity and innovation seems to be the biggest excuse we have in this world that we live in. Yet only few realize that despite the invoice that is presented, NASA's research will most certainly pay off in the end. For all we know, an undiscovered element is currently lying on a not-so-distant planet that could be more valuable than gold, easily paying off our country's debt and funding for new technological advancements, or finding life-saving knowledge from an abundant stock of materials on a neighboring planet or its moons. A new, more effective source of fuel could be laying idle, just waiting for us. And where extraterrestrial life exists, mankind should have the opportunity to explore the cosmos. Due to our government's short-sighted search for funding for the future, dreams are cut short, and the ingenuity of our greatest minds is reduced to a fraction of possibility. The USA was proudly growing throughout the 1950s and the 1960s. Even during the Cold War between the USA and the USSR, conventional growth received an intense boost. And even though the Cold War consisted of events such as the Cuban Missile Crisis, the most prominent and memorable event was the space race. The Soviet Union got off to a very strong start with the successful launching of Sputnik 1, but the USA crossed the finish line first with Apollo 11, successfully completing mankind's first walk on the moon. With the cancellation of manned space exploration, the space race seems almost meaningless. Are we, the proud and strong United States of America, going to let all of this arduous effort go to waste? Why has it become acceptable to abandon or postpone our mission for further exploration? For human survival, it is imperative that we find other suitable habitats away from Earth. If another sizable asteroid collides with the Earth, a mass explosion could cause the Earth to go devoid of life. And as our sun starts its own journey towards its own extinction as one of our most necessary resources for life, the Earth is projected to go devoid of life in 1 billion years. Humans will cease to exist, assuming there is no better place for us to go. Pollution may cause an earlier collapse of life as a result of our decaying ozone layer. NASA adamantly states that the time to start looking for a new home is now. In April of 2014, the first Earth-sized planet found to be potentially habitable, named Kepler 186f, was discovered by NASA. This exoplanet, as it is so called, is only 10% more massive than Earth. It is also believed to have an atmosphere that could potentially harvest water in liquid form. Despite the fact that the contents of this atmosphere are not completely known, this is a gigantic step in an ongoing search for a new Earth. In July of 2015, NASA discovered the exoplanet Kepler 452b, which has also been pronounced to be in the habitable zone. Being the closest we've come to finding a planet with potentially suitable conditions for life, Kepler 452b has been termed Earth's bigger, older cousin. Although a definite atmosphere has yet to be determined, humanity has now been given a new hope. We can now keep looking toward the stars for our survival options. In the words of a great philosopher, Matthew McConaughey, from the movie Interstellar, mankind was born on Earth. It was never meant to die here. If mankind did not stop at the wheel, then we should not stop at the moon. So, it is time for humanity to reinvent the wheel and travel to new destinations in order to find a new adventure for our race and have NASA lead the way.